taxi driver. I haven't been able to get behind the wheel of a car since this incident. On that night, which I still remember vividly, the moonlight was unusually blue and cold. Around 2 a.m., I was tired and wanted to go home. At that time, the backseat car door suddenly opened, and a man wearing a red fedora and red suit got into my car. There was no one around, so I was startled that this man just suddenly appeared. I clutched my chest. He was wearing red sunglasses. His face, just slightly visible in the darkness, was gaunt, and his cheekbones were severely exposed. I asked him where he was going. Then he gave a strange answer.
To a place you will hate so much.
His voice sounded like it was leaking air. I thought he was a strange person, but I tried to speak calmly. Sir, please tell me your destination and I'll take you there quickly. I need to go home soon and see my wife for even just one more minute.
Oh, that's romantic. I think it was a good decision to choose you.
He was giggling obnoxiously, and I thought he was crazy. I was thinking about throwing him out, but then he said,
There's a cemetery about 10 miles from here. Let's just go there.
I was a little annoyed, but all I could think about was quickly dropping him off and going home, so I started the car. I was nervous and wanted to lighten the mood, so I spoke to him. What do you do?
I'm a delivery man.
His voice still sounded like there was air escaping. Oh yeah? What are you delivering?
I'm delivering something very interesting. I'm delivering it right now.
Yeah? You're delivering now? But you're not holding anything. Then he started laughing out loud, and at that moment, dust flew out of his mouth. I was shocked. All of his teeth, visible from his open mouth, were rotten. His gums were missing. His tongue was rotten, disgusting, dry, like a mummy. For a moment, I was confused as to whether I had seen an illusion. Then I saw a cemetery ahead, and he said something I couldn't understand.
Oh, it's about time. Goodbye.
He hummed an unknown song and rolled up his sleeves, revealing his rotten, dry, bony arms. Then suddenly, he came closer to me, put his hand in my mouth. I was startled and tried to stop him. The car lurched forward and backward, and before I knew it, his hand was down my throat. Then I felt his hand grabbing my heart. I was in tremendous pain. I screamed, turning the steering wheel, and slammed the brakes. At that time, the man whispered something in my ear. At the same time, I heard the sound of the car wheels screeching, and everything went black. When I opened my eyes, I was lying in a hospital bed, and my wife was next to me, crying. She said when she saw me waking up, "Are you okay? The doctor said you almost died from a heart attack, but you survived." I was floored. I suddenly remembered the man and asked her, "What happened to the man in my back seat?" Then she looked at me with a questioning look and said, "What man? You were riding alone. Could it be that your brain is also injured? Doctor!" She began sobbing. "The man in red!" No matter how much I shouted, she just cried. I was so stunned, and the rescue workers who came to the scene also said that there was no one in my car but me. I thought the conversation with the backseat passenger might be on the dash cam, so I asked my wife to get the dash cam. And when we played the video, we couldn't believe it. The man's voice couldn't be heard, only the sound of air leaking. My wife was confused and asked what the sound of air leaking was. Even when I showed it to the other people, none of them could understand what the sound was. Only I could recognize his voice. I panicked. What on earth was that man? I clearly remembered his red fedora shining in the moonlight, his creepy voice. They were so vivid. But I couldn't quite remember what he last whispered in my ear. Obviously, I fainted when I heard that. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't remember. Then, in the wee hours of the morning, I suddenly started getting goosebumps all over my body, like crazy. My body started shaking so much that the bed shook too. The reason was because I remembered the words he whispered. What he said.
I deliver people.